There you go. Thank you.
All right, welcome everybody. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Somebody waiting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Miller,
Here.
Councilmember Farrell,
Here.
Councilmember Fallon,
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Here.
Mayor Walker.
We forgot.
Oh, sorry, Councilmember Wood,
Here.
Here.
Mayor Walker.
Thank you. Any additions or amendments to the agenda?
No, Your Honor.
Addition or amendments? Oh, I'm sorry. Adoption of consent agenda. Approval of the minutes and ratification of the bills of the amount of $205,519.61. Anybody? What?
Motion.
Adoption consent agenda.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, thank you.
Julie has a thumbs up.
For accepting it.
Public hearings,
None,
appointments to committees.
we didn't have any applications turned in.
All right, thank you. Appearance of interested citizens.
We didn't have, we did have an email sent in today. Well, actually not an email. Glenda Groves brought this in. Would you like me to read it? Or do you want to read it or?
I can read it. Dear Gordon, Mayor and Council, last year around this time, letters were sent to residents who reside on streets that have parking concerns due to the width of the street, making it difficult for emergency vehicles, delivery trucks, and garbage pickup to turn around safely. I live on Sunset Avenue with these concerns. With much discussion on the best way to elevate this problem, our fire chief, John Logan, suggested putting up no parking in the cul-de-sac signs, which had been there when this housing division was first built. The council, which I was a member of, voted yes on the chief's suggestion. The city manager said he would talk to the Public Works Department and make a plan to install the signs. Understandably, it has been a difficult year and some projects of less importance have been set aside. Hopefully, this request will get this project back in your plans. Thank you, Glenda Groves.
And then I did research in minutes and found where council did decide to do that. And I did speak with Sheldon today, so I'm sure he'll be back on it.
Okay.
That was the only email that, or the only thing that we received outside of council meeting.
How about the installed parking signs on West and Windsong?
Well, I'm sure this whole thing will be addressed with Sheldon, not just Sunset, but any that he hasn't taken care of. Yeah, I don't know if some has been done and some wasn't done. I have no idea.
No,
There's-
it's still,
When I get mail and go up the hill on that Windsong, they're not abiding by the signs. There's people parking there quite frequently.
No.
okay. City committees.
Nothing.
Okay, a discussion of the community picnic survey and summary.
Yay. All right, taking my mask off so you can hear me.
Okay,
So, first of all, everyone's got a copy of the surveys that we received. We've got 48 of them. Kathy took off personal information on there. Thank you. So, and then she's put these online, is that right?
They're on the website with the packet.
Perfect. And then Kathy also, since I just got this in, the results, she'll be posting that as well. I was really excited. There was a lot of good feedback, I felt. As you can see, like, what do you most appreciate? Everyone is really positive. They love the scenery, people, friends, small town, location. It's not Portland. History, fishing. I mean, as you can see, it just kind of goes on and on. If you don't see a number next to it, that means that was one. But anything that had more than one, I put a number by it. So but I thought it was nice to see so much positive. Like, people really love the city, our little town here. And then what was missing, police, that was up there. A lot of stuff for children, rec halls, community centers, organized activities, basic stores, banks, auto store, retail, shopping, hardware, kind of combined all of those. Medical services, they really thought we were missing pride and cleanliness. And throughout the survey too, people want to see more diverse restaurants. They want options. They're just looking for more options. They weren't necessarily negative towards our current businesses. They just were looking for more options. Childcare seems to be a big one. Sidewalks, school. People are looking for more holiday traditions, events, community events, get to know each other. There was a lot of positive feedback verbally at the picnic. Tammy and I both, a lot of people were thanking us and just saying how fun it was and what a good time. And so do more of these. That was another comment as well. Skate park, you'll see that. A few comments about boat storage. That's in the other questions. I was putting, and what you see on here, this is all the actual, what people wrote. So if they put Taco Bell, Popeyes, I put it on there. So, and then also, we need to share this with the port as well. So we can email that over to Olga. That'd be great. But as you can see, I mean, there's a big long list of what they feel like we're missing, but it's just all for Trinity. And then a lot of these things we can condense into more to specific categories, but it was getting late and so like culture center, that could be put into the rec center, things like that. But this is something you can, ponder and look at. A lot of comments about the bridge too, safety, walkways. I'm condensing this. What could be improved? I know some of the questions are similar, but they're meant to do that. They're meant to, for thought provoking. It kind of hones in. Once again, police protection patrols, that's a big one. Economic development, patrols of theft crime, could really loop that in with police. Medical offices, services, parking, residential, potholes by the school, that came up a few times. Daycare, preschool, affordable housing will come up a few times throughout the survey. One thing too, kind of when they say empty buildings, businesses downtown, redo Wanapa more attractive, there seemed to be a lot of concern with the state of downtown, and they would like to condense this. They'd like to have it look more uniform, cleaned up, presentable, and same thing, cleanup, urban renewal, food diversity, funding. Funding is a topic on quite a few of them too. They want funding for police, funding for fire, funding for EMS, funding for the school. You can incorporate the rec center with that as well. Grocery store, a lot of people, they want more, they want a really good selection on produce, more, just a bigger, nicer grocery store, they were saying, redesigned. Back to Wanapa businesses to be open, sold, leased. That goes to the improving the downtown the beautification, as someone put it in one of the, in their remarks. Promoting businesses. Environmentally, there was a lot of stuff on environmental. Once again, indoor rec center, that can be incorporated into other things. Fire department staffing, you can put that with funding. But they want to see community unity. They want to see, you know, like I said, I was really, really impressed with the comments. I thought a lot of them were very, except the one that said they really liked the rain. I'm like, I don't know, I was questioning that, but that's okay. They could say that. Skate park, once again, ambulance is 20 years old, but we're getting a new one. So that's somebody that just didn't know we're getting a new one. I thought this was interesting. Events between October and March. I thought that was interesting. Bridge traffic, water access. And then this one, it's a bit long, but what do you think our biggest challenge facing the future of our community? This is what people are kind of predicting, like what are they fearful of, or what are the challenges? And a lot of it is growth without changing the small town feel. Police, once again, is up there. Businesses, jobs, high paying jobs. That means jobs where people can earn a living and whatnot. Schools is on the list. Infrastructure, tourism, fear of change. People are not used to change. A lot of uncertainty. Affordable housing, that's a big one. People want to be able to live in the city. In Cascade locks, childcare, schooling, jobs, parking. As you can kind of see, there's a repeat theme, a lot of them. More about funding, housing, economics. One said roll with the punches. I'm like, cool with that. Fire department funds, once again, Bible study, employment, scenic area rules. They're worried about more people, houses, more drugs. Environmental damage, tourism without fire department support. I thought that was pretty good because we've got to up the fire department in order to be able to handle the growth. So tourism, squeezing out, squeeze too many visitors. Produce, once again, hospitals, clinics, wellness. Somebody was worried about the inn never opening again. So we'll see about that. COVID, I thought that was a genuine concern as well. All of these are genuine concerns. Coordinating diverse income, community involvement. Somebody worried that the community won't be the same. It's not going to be the same in 20 years, but that's everyone likes it like this. Capitalize on tourism, access to Marine Park. That's something that was mentioned as well throughout this. Increasing salaries for positions. Not sure, that would have to be a little bit more detailed. And this was kind of fun. The 2040 and our vision, it's been achieved. What does it look like? In the year 2040, what are people envisioning and how do they feel? Police, do they feel safer? They're envisioning that. This is things that they're hopeful for. There's medical, there's more shopping, there's more businesses, less crime. They're still keeping the small town feel. It's more attractive, clean, beautification downtown. So these are all really positive things. Once again, abandoned houses rebuilt, no trashy homes, buildings. So as I said, a lot of these things you can categorize all within the same, but I just thought I would include everyone's actual comments. Cleaned up, fire, no drama. Everyone, I think, would vote for that. No drama. Activities for ages, all ages. All-inclusive destination for travelers, livable wages, housing, spaceships. Yep. Somebody puts, but who knows, You never know. Financial stability, residential property renovated. Once again, you can look that into cleanliness. And this one's a little bit longer, this list, and you can just go through it. A lot of it's trash not blowing around. One person said a casino. more infrastructure, arcades, bowling alleys. People are looking for things to do. They want gathering places, they want community events, anything community minded, things for kids. Basically, you could blanket a lot with that. Transparency, that goes with a lot of different ones. And a lot of people, they'd like to, one person said it, enjoy normal things without having to go to the river. So, and then better funding for police department, safety, no meth homes, yay. Water sports community center, those can all be lumped into rec center. Everyone really likes the view and they want to protect it. So, and then someone doesn't want to fall into potholes. Potholes are mentioned again. So I don't know where these potholes are.
They're on the school road,
Oh, are they?
which
They filled those.
they did. Maybe there's, I haven't used that road in quite a while, but that's, we talked with the county, I think, in the school district. That's not a city street.
Yeah, the school was supposed to fill theirs. I think the city did their portion. So
Okay.
maybe it
Okay.
didn't get done.
Yeah, it is big.
Okay. Okay. This one, it's kind of fun that received $100 million. That was cut down considerably from Independence's survey, but I thought 100 million, we'll go with that. You have to spend it. Once again, police is up there, medical services, dental, hospital programs, that's up there. Rec center, pool, aquatic, people are looking for things to do with kids. And a lot of them were mentioned year round. So even in the inclement weather. School upgrades, food bank, funding, once again, for the fire department, that seems to be a concern as well. Sidewalks, that's another one, preschool, rebuilding Main Street, no funky buildings, refurbished commercial buildings, that goes along with beautification and whatnot. Housing, that's another one, arcade, skate, bike parks, big fancy museum this was kind of fun because if you have that much money and you got to spend it in 5 years, how are you going to spend it? So it's okay to think big. Help for needy people, high school, help with elderly, Center for the Arts, social services. Social services could be pretty widespread. More services, low income, Hallmark movie made in town. I'm always a fan of Hallmark, but that would be interesting. Faster internet, once again, diverse restaurants and retail. People are asking for more diversity and options. Walking, cycling, finish the firehouse, that has to do with funding. Fix the bridge to be free. I'm not sure how that will be done, but I don't know, children's programs, park, farmers market, on and off ramps to freeway. Once again, fitness, nutrition, wellness, community center, that can go up with the rec center. Playground, bowling alley, Popeyes, boat center. There was quite a few different comments about boat storage and access to water. Development of business park with community in mind, waterfront redevelopment, community college, career center, quiet zone, beautification, license plate cameras, pedestrian, once again, pedestrian access to marine park, affordable rentals, that's for housing, bridge traffic, that was brought up a couple times. Let's see, and then back on the very back page, what describes you, and this is, some people didn't put anything on there, so I couldn't tally it, but mostly, it was interesting because I counted, last count, it was 90 people at the event, and then there were a few extra that came in. So I'm just gonna guess close to 100 we had at the event. And so with 48, because that's counting kids that were at the event, so 48 surveys, I'm pretty happy with it. That's not a bad percentage. But so mostly everybody lives in Cascade Locks. They work, and sometimes there's several checked, but they own, operate, they shop, 3 students, no visitors, so everyone has some, you know, some tie here. And then just about the joining the community, some said yes, but then they didn't provide any of their information. So, but we'll have to follow up, and maybe Tammy, you can help me with that. And, but that's it. I thought it was, I really enjoyed hearing what everybody thought, and really liked it, so.
It's great, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody have any questions on it? I kind of ran through it fast, but. So I have the originals, and maybe Tammy and I can file through those, and then we can reach out to individuals and ask them.
I think you have, Brenda's got her hand up.
Brenda, you have a question?
Thank you, guys. I do have a question. I wanted to know how much we spent on this and how many, so you said about 90 people attended. I mean, I know this is all approximate numbers. And how many people did we buy for?
So we figured well, originally we were gonna go for close to 200, and then I ramped it back down, knowing that we had switched the date and the increment weather. So I figured on 160 that we bought for, and Olga's gonna get me the final tallies, because all of our bills and receipts were ran through the port. So I know we voted for up to $1,500 our part, and I know we did not spend that for our half. But for our next meeting, I can get that and everyone will see the financials. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Does anybody want to discuss anything more about, or you can bring it up here when we have our comments. So, city council comments. Brenda? Any comment?
I just want to thank the city staff for getting our packets ready for us. And also thanks to both Kathy's for getting the surveys so we could actually see them when we're not able to attend the meeting in person. Thanks, Kathy, for uploading them. I know that takes a lot of time. I have been at council for many years now, attending as a community member, a business owner, and everything. And not to keep tooting my horn, but I've been bringing it up to council for a long time about policing and crime in our town and all of that. And it is something that's big on my list as a community member, and EMS is too. But I can tell you, EMS, we still have a ways to go, I'm sure, always, as things, the population increases and stuff, but we are far better in EMS than we were even a year ago. We have done some drastic improvement, and at least when you call for an ambulance, you can hear our ambulances leaving and not have to wait 15 or 20 minutes for Skamania County to get to you. And I'm very appreciative to the city and to the people that do the work behind the scenes to make all this happen. And that's all I have, but thanks all of you guys.
Julie, any comments, please?
Yeah, I'd like to thank staff and thank you to everyone who worked on the picnic and the survey. And that's it. Thanks.
Butch?
Always like to start off with thanking staff for all their work, especially getting this all up for us. Of course, Dry Creek water situation. if we're still having trouble with that engineer giving a look at it, maybe it's time for the city to start looking for another engineer.
I agree.
Okay, I had a few meetings I attended virtually this last couple weeks. One was on vacant property registration ordinance, the RTO.
Interesting.
Do we have any vacant?
No.
This requires, putting together ordinances so when vacant properties happen, that they get registered with the city, and that way they get monitored. Of course, we're such a small city. If something is vacant, everybody here pretty much knows. But it's something that we may want to consider, to help move people along on getting properties picked up and keeping cleaned up. And especially, the banks and things like that own property that are been foreclosed or something. And it would help, giving people like that own Cascade again, like extra incentive to move along and get that property occupied. So that's something we may want to consider. I also had the LOC meeting, which I was really pretty much disappointed in. Their voting process left a lot to be desired. They didn't have any discussion over their amendment issues and stuff. They just jammed it all together and voted. There was 5 issues. And then they had breakout sessions to start to mingle with other people. So, and that's what I was looking for, is to connect with and find things out. Except their breakout section was for, one room was for women, one was for people of color, and the other was for the LGBTQ. And
They separated groups?
yeah, well, what they do is you can go to these groups so you can discuss things that are mutually agreeable, and to pass ideas along.
Oh,
But then do they come together after that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, then you come
Okay.
back together.
okay.
Yeah, they have about an hour for that. And those were the only 3 groups that they had, which I kind of didn't fit
yeah.
in those 3. So I wish they would have had one for discussing the amendments that they were going to do, or police reform, if they didn't have something like that. So that was, like I said, it was disappointing.
Were, just a question, but
Mhm.
were the cities that were represented and sent people just mostly to all the large cities?
Oh, mostly if you're smaller cities,
Really?
that are there. Portland was represented by a staff member of one of the committees. That's where, if you got the email about the meeting, you can go down and it lists all the cities that were there. And Portland wasn't that on. They usually don't follow LOC that much. Salem doesn't usually. Your real big cities, I think they're too big for it. But and a lot of mayors were on there. There was city managers, administrators, and council, and they were basically your smaller cities.
How many were in attendance roughly?
There was 126 that is registered for it, and there was like 90 some that participated. And
Thank you.
all right, and then last Thursday we had the Cascade Locks Action Committee meeting, and I always attend as a member of of the church, as representing the church there. But since Gordon wasn't there, I represented the city hall. And they had a good presentation by the group that, hoping one of them would come in tonight. Play, learn at home.
My daughter does.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a real great organization. They get, materials for children up to 5 years old for free. And there are activities, there are books in it. They give a monthly book from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and all this stuff is free. They got a grant for it. So if they come back to us and want to put something on our Facebook page or something, I would recommend that we do it.
Well, Gordon puts, there's a little blurb in the city newsletter, I think every month. It's been on there.
Oh,
It's a great program.
Could you expand on that a little, Tammy? I mean, is it easy to?
Oh, it's great. When you first sign up, they bring a tub for you and they have all kinds of playthings in it. You answer some questions about what's kind of best suited for your child. And then they meet you down at the marina once a month with a bag, and then you can take that stuff out, put it in your tub.
Cool.
And then they have an online, a Facebook presence where if you can share different crafts perhaps that you came up with to use the items. And then the Dolly Parton thing, it takes a little while for that to get started, but yes, that comes via our post office and your child gets a free brand new book each month. It's really nice, yeah.
And it's all at no charge.
It's all at no charge, yeah.
How are they funded?
they got a grant.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I let the people there at the action committee know what we were up to. And let's see, what was that? I know there's something else I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah. The police thing that I worked on this last couple weeks. We're, of course, we don't have the coverage that we need. And at the action committee, I talked with Jeremiah from the port and asked him how they got their cameras for the bridge. Well, they got their cameras through a Homeland grant, Homeland Security grant. And so this is something that we could be looking at, getting security cameras that we could put on our city streetlights at critical places so we can help monitor vehicles that have been reported fouling or something like that, or doing something, at least something to help try to get license plates. And of course, I brought this up before, and Sheriff English talked about it. We do have to be careful that we don't cross any boundaries on, snooping or whatever. But I think we could get put in for about 7 or 8 cameras, get a monitoring station that can be put up at the fireplace, the firehouse. I think this is worthwhile to look into, especially since there's a grant out there for it.
And what kind of grant runs the?
It's from Homeland Security.
Okay.
So, we could put a couple cameras downtown. They've already got the bridge area covered. We could put one down here at the Forest Lane in Wanapa, and one down at the business entrance. One coming out of Shahala, one back here by the church and by the city hall here, watch traffic come out here. Because there was a report of a prowler back here on Ruffles last week.
I saw that.
So,
Wonder if they could do the plate readers.
Yeah, well, they can
Yeah.
do that. They're, and get the trailers, try to get those speed trailers. Maybe there's a grant out there we can get to that. But, I'm hoping, yeah, I think I should wait on that. I do have something working that hopefully will come out where we can get some speed trailers. I wanted to divulge names or things yet, because it will all say corporate sponsor or gift. So that's something to work on. So I think that's about what I got today.
Thank you. Tammy?
This is great. You really went through it very well. And I guess from the main part of it, we can see that police is a big issue with it. That and cleaning up Wanacog, which I agree with. Now, Kathy, you said that this was gonna be online.
I will scan it and put it on tomorrow, yes.
Maybe Gordon can put that, I mean, after you finish, put it in whatever newsletter corresponds with that to let people know about it.
I doubt if it'd be in the newsletter, it would cost us too much money, because our newsletter goes with.
No, I don't mean in the newsletter, I mean a blurb on the newsletter saying that this is available online. Because I don't know how else anybody's gonna know about it unless they just arbitrarily look at the city website.
We can post something on
Oh,
the
that would be good,
Facebook page.
just so that it can get out there to let people know that it's available. And also, while I'm talking to you, Kathy, thanks for getting back to me about the giving tree and how you're starting the Christmas, how you're gonna work that with the gift cards and stuff. That's always a good program. I was coming home from the bowling alley today. My daughter has it on Mondays, and I counted 4 street lights out on Wanapah, just near the firehouse, near the new firehouse. Do we have
Now down there or this way?
towards
That
the
way or
river?
that way? Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
that way.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
No, we have some down there.
The city does?
We just had to redo the wiring down there, so yes, we do.
I'll be darned.
I didn't know if maybe we had some obsolete ones that we just don't have, we don't use lights for or not. Anyway, yeah, there were 4 of them. So
I
thought that
know
was
we have
worth-
some down there,
worth
so we'll have to.
mentioning. Okay, thank you. And then I don't know, I haven't heard anything, but I'm assuming that we have a joint work group with the port this Thursday, Kathy, and then Butch, if you were gonna sit in, you said you might be able to,
I was gonna say,
just as a reminder.
if you want me to take Richard's spot, I'm more than willing.
Cool. Kathy, if you can't go, I need to
Okay.
go to,
If you could go,
Okay.
I'm swamped with work,
well,
so,
no,
yeah,
I'd be happy to go.
that'd be great.
Cool.
And then that way, since we went over this too, if they have questions and Kathy's gonna email Olga, so.
Okay.
this too.
Now, I haven't seen an agenda for that
I haven't yet.
meeting. Are
Yeah, I think I
I
got
didn't
one.
check my emails today.
On the
so-
email.
Okay, so probably 7 o'clock on Thursday as usual.
There's
Yeah.
probably an opportunity for updates.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go to,
Just thank the port for partnering, and they were just wonderful to work with.
okay.
And that's about all. Thank you both for filling in and keeping us going here. Without Gordon, did he make it back to the United States?
well, I guess his flight got canceled. I'm not sure exactly.
In Utah.
Yeah,
We're not.
yeah. So he made it
Close.
back to the States.
He's
No, he's not
close.
here.
That meeting is virtual.
Yeah.
Like to always thank the city staff, Kathy, Mary Ann, holding down the fort here the last 2 meetings. Thank you so much. And wrestling with the internet and everything. Also, I was glad you brought up Dry Creek. That was on my list of where are we at with that. Thank you to Thunder Island. I went to their event because I just wanted to go and support, but I also wanted to see the setup of it. And they have that big tent setup, which is wonderful. It provides an outdoor space and out of the rain, and it's COVID friendly. You didn't feel packed in there, and it's not impacting any of the parking spots. So, I mean, there was a couple that they had off, like for a pop-up where like a smoking area away from everything, but otherwise it wasn't taking up parking. So, but it seemed to be well ran, well staffed, everyone was friendly, and it was a really nice event. They worked really hard on it. And then if we can get back on the next one for hiring process, so where we're at, like for the recruiting, like what do they charge, or if they're presenting, I don't know where we left off with that. And I want to clarify too, I'm not pushing to hire a recruiter. I'm just saying it's a great option, but I want to look at all options. And
well, I put together from another city an RFP, and so Gordon, I have that ready for Gordon, so he can be looking at that and then decide if that's how.
We could
they
run
want to go.
ads and just kind of get a direction of that. Also, there's, it could be an opportunity. It seemed that people really like when they filled these out that they got a ticket to win something. That seemed to go over really well, and I loved it. I loved watching people win, and you know, it was a plant or some gift cards, but it was really a lot of fun. And also people who made me feel included. We could do an online survey, same thing, but do online, like maybe through SurveyMonkey or something, where all your answers are going to be populated, and so you don't have to hand do it. And then maybe we can offer an incentive once again for the holidays. Hey, here's a survey, but it's just online. Here's a survey, do it online, and there could be Facebook ads, promotions for it. And then since we didn't spend all the money, and I'm not saying we have to spend all 1,500 on our part, but maybe the port we could bring up if they would like that to be a joint venture as well. And that way we don't have to do a whole lot, but just offer a couple gift cards for the holidays or something. But it was just an idea. Maybe we could bring that up at the next city council, see how people feel about the online survey, and go from there. There's been some talk about the gas station, about the fuel leaks. Have you seen that? Oh, so that was kind of concerning to me. There's which gas station? It's not the Shell, the Chevron. But it seemed, I was reading through the comments, and it seems to be reoccurring, where if you put your gas in and you go in, it's overflowing. And so whoever was working there, I'm not sure who it was, but they're commenting like, well, that's your fault, the pump's broke. But the way I look at it is that if that happened to me, I wouldn't be happy about paying that. But environmentally, it can't be good if we keep having fuel spillage, and it seems like it's reoccurring. And I know I did ask John, I said, I don't know where he's at with that, but I don't really know whose jurisdiction is it, but if the pumps are broke and they're overflowing fuel, well, it sounds like quite a bit, and it's happened more than once.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on there, because I've worked and managed gas stations, and
Right.
You don't want that happening. I mean,
Right.
if somebody's filling up their tank and you can get a hurry and it
Right.
spits out, that's one thing. But
Right.
it seems that these folks are talking about
Right.
gallons and gallons, and that.
Right. And it's not being properly cleaned up.
No,
That's it.
you need to shut that pump off. I mean,
Right.
then that's a basic knowledge as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
So,
So I don't know, where do we bring that concern? Like, if the pump's broke, who's responsible? I mean,
I would call the state.
call the
If
state.
if I was a customer and it happened to me, I
Mhm.
would call, you can call the weights and measures people. The ones that put the stamp on they inspect it every year. they run some in a can and make sure it's, right, and they're not overcharging people, but,
So as a city,
fire
can we
department-
say something or can we, or can
It's not
I?
a city, it would not
It's
be
not
a city thing.
So that's what I'm asking. Should I just call and check myself or?
you
What-
could, but
Yeah.
again, it's not, I mean, it's a city concern as
Right,
far as the fire department,
right,
but, and it's also a city concern and an ODOT concern if it's in
environmental,
the drains,
right,
so
About DEQ.
you could call the Oregon DEQ,
okay.
but, I just can't imagine personally, I can't imagine any businessman or person.
And it doesn't sound like Mark to
No.
not
No.
be taking care of that.
So
It
it's always
doesn't.
a grain of salt, I know, but it seems
Yeah.
like there were several, it was reoccurring with different people.
Mm.
So that's where the flag was with me as well. And so, I don't know.
I'm thinking that, when we didn't have self-service and they were handling it, the workers knew how to play
Maybe.
around with the pump, but now we all have to pump our own.
Right,
And yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, if that's happening,
Mhm.
it's 99.9%, in my opinion, a mechanical issue. There's
Right,
a little, almost like a float. in there.
right.
And so that's a mechanical issue.
I don't mind asking Mark about it if you want me to.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, the vacant property, I had a question on the home that's right next to the ODOT. And they cleaned it all up and the windows are boarded up
Mhm.
and it's not technically vacant, I guess, but I don't, is someone living there and all the windows are boarded up, so it
They're
is
not
vacant?
living there right now. They are remodeling and they live, I can't remember where she told me, they live in Portland, I think, or somewhere.
Mhm.
And they just come out every once in a while. I think it was this weekend, I did see a
Okay,
van there. Looked like they were loading some stuff in. So I just think they're working a little bit at a time when they can or when they can afford it or whatever. I'm
yeah,
not sure.
it's like sometimes
It's the
there's
same
lights
thing.
on.
Pardon?
Sometimes
The
there's.
same family owns it, or
No, she sold it, the daughter sold it, and
Right,
this family they're just working on a little bit at a time.
yeah, okay, I was just curious. And then, Halloween, I know Tammy, you had brought it
Yeah, I
up, so
forgot to mention
can
that.
you wanna, I just had questions about Halloween, if we're gonna be able to, buy candy or what are,
Yeah,
What do you
brought it up
wanna do?
last time. I know Caroline would like, a contribution. But, other than that, I don't, she mentioned about perhaps actually being active with a vehicle, a fire truck or something of that sort. But as far as, I'm not really active in it, so I think just a contribution of candy or having her turn in receipts to get reimbursed for candy, if we come up with a monetary amount for her. I don't, like I said, I'm not really involved in it, but I know that she did reach out and ask.
well, I can represent the city council and if we wanna do that,
if,
I just don't wanna financially,
I really don't like the idea of donating money to a private business.
well, this wouldn't be
Yeah.
to a private.
That's going to a private business.
Well, this is why, if I did it, the trunk and treat, I would buy the candy and it's just me passing it out. So it wouldn't have anything it would only be part of Cascade Lock, so it wouldn't
You
have
do it as a
anything.
private business, fine, but I don't see how the council can
Mhm.
do it like that.
Well, it's just part of the city.
She could get receipts and be reimbursed, that's why I said it that way.
let me call Carolyn
Okay.
or Dave.
Okay.
I know she
And-
was looking for volunteers.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Let me try and figure out how much they're talking about. But I'd like to do that.
Yeah, if you need somebody to sit down there, I'm doing it. I'm not going into town for Halloween on Sunday night.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm staying home, so. But I think it would be one more way to, if the city was represented, to say, hey, we're here. And so it wouldn't be tied to a business, Butch. And so if we ran it that way.
I think I disagree with that. Unless Mr. and Mrs. Lips have set aside something
She's just,
separate.
maybe we're talking about two different things, because I'm talking about the trunk and treat.
Right.
So it's just, she's just organizing the parents and who's coming.
Right.
So, but it's not a Thunder Island event.
That's separate.
That's separate. She's just like.
So if I wanted to
Mhm.
donate, I would be giving the money to Carolyn or.
If you don't want to come, if you didn't want to physically be there, you would find somebody who would.
Okay, so
Yeah. She's just organizing the people.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with
So she's
Thunder
more
Island.
involved in
The organization.
volunteer.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yeah,
get it.
because everyone had so many questions on Facebook. So finally she's like, all right, I'll organize everybody. So, yeah, but it's not at Thunder Island. It's not, if they pass out stuff at Thunder Island, that's their thing, but it's just basically whoever wants to come and pass out candy.
Is it
Right,
still
so,
in
so the
school?
city would not be donating candy or money to anybody. So if, now like if John wanted to go, which I don't know, because I haven't talked to him. I don't know if he and volunteers were taking the fire department, the fire truck. I have no idea. I know a city vehicle would not,
Yeah.
it wouldn't go.
But again, the
Yeah.
location of it, where is that?
It's on
All of
Wanapah.
Wanapah.
The cars park on
Downtown.
Wanapah.
I've never done trunk and treat,
I knew-
so I don't
downtown.
know.
We do it every year.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know all the ins and outs. So,
People decorate their cars and they had, kids walk up and down Wanapah on the sidewalk and get candy out of
Okay.
people's cars.
man, that's a
And
way
then,
to get.
then the kids go into whatever businesses like Columbia Market usually has that
Okay.
candy, you know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
We have a hand raised. Brenda?
Yeah, I didn't realize we were on other matters, but I was gonna, on trunk or treat, these kids are not lost for candy. There's tons of people that participate. They park their cars along Wanapah and decorate pop-up tents, their trunks, everything. All the businesses participate, giving candy and free stuff. It's a really big event, and I don't think the city should pay any money for any candy be given out. There's plenty. Between what we have and what's across the bridge, there's tons of candy for the kids.
Well, I'm of the mind, I just want to see the city be represented and participate more in events and just have a presence in events. That's where I'm at. It's not so much about the candy, it's more about a presence. So, but whatever you decide.
I have a response, and I am too, but I would like to see the city money go for police and all of that rather than candy. And I'm not trying to be the hard guy, but we're very short of money and we have a lot of things that we want to do. And I bet if you had them vote whether they wanted candy or work on police, they would put police. And I know it's hard because we live in a small town and there's not a lot of money, but that's where people get together and there's really not a shortage. If you haven't been to trunk or treat, you should go this year just to check it out. There's no shortage of candy.
Well, I'll
We can
still,
argue over candy.
I'd like to talk to
Yeah.
Carolyn and see what her expectations are.
Okay.
Not as a representing the city, but as a,
Mhm.
just Bob, that's,
Right.
let me
Yeah.
do that.
I already
Okay.
donated from my own personal account to Caroline to to
Yeah.
get some, because not,
Okay.
it has been really hard on people, and it has been a big event in the past, but you know, people are hurting for money, so
Mhm.
she asked for donations, so that's how I did it.
Okay.
Well, one thing from the picnic, I just kept hearing over and over and over, it felt nice to feel like the city cared. So, and if we spent $60 on candy, that's not gonna fund a police department. But I do understand from a budget point, you have to be mindful for every cent spent. So it's, whatever you decide, I'm good with. So
Okay. Was that it?
that's it,
All right.
my list.
My turn. We've talked about police protection a lot, and that it's an ongoing issue. I think during this coming new year and 2022, we're going to have to really sit down with the budget, because there's some hard choices to make, and it is important that people feel safe, but we're gonna have to look at the budget, because you're gonna have to cut something. There's only a finite amount of funding in the budget. So one thing we may have to do is look at, okay, what are we not gonna do? And shift that money to police protection. I don't think there's a $100,000 answer where we can grab the whole 100,000. This is going to take a combination of perhaps some budget cuts, perhaps putting it on the ballot as a separate issue, maybe switching some funding that is existing, a new local tax, on different things where the folks that are visiting can help pay for these things. So if I was to say what our number one coming up goal is as a council is to figure this out, because it's obvious that people expect more police protection. And like I've said, we've almost doubled our population with the same amount of police protection that we had when we had 600 people. So I know we've all come up with ideas, but we need to move forward with a plan and get this ball rolling, because things are not gonna slow down. We've got 45 new houses being built, maybe some new businesses coming in. This is not gonna slow down. So as a council, it's our duty to start this ball rolling. And like I said, there's going to be some hard choices to make for both the council and the community of where we're going to find the funds for this. Okay. I wanted to thank staff again for all their hard work, and especially since Gordon was gone, Marianne and Kathy have done an excellent job making sure the ship still floats. And I think you ought to be commended for that. I want to thank Sheldon and also the electrical department for the dumpster days that was put on. I didn't go out there, but it's always a well participation. A lot of times dumpsters fill up before the end of the opening period. So I imagine that was also true this year. So thanks for anybody that had to work on that. I want to thank the port and Kathy and Tammy again for the event. I think it's a a good idea, and I hope we can continue it. I guess that's it. Any other matters? Any executive session?
No.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you and good evening.